I did a podcast this past week for New Generation Declassified talking about ECW stars that went from ECW to the WWF, not vice versa. The ones that went from WWF back, like Marty Jannetty popping in, or Bam Bam, or guys that just came in for a cup of coffee. So we brought up the ECW Raw. Okay. You and I have talked about it in the past, but I'd just like to get it back out there again, just to cover what happened that night, because I had Joe Feeney on with me covering that show, and he talked about Raven. He's asked Raven about it on the air before. But he said it just would have been awesome had Shane and Francine been on this show. So the question is, what happened? What do you remember? And why were you guys not there?
From what I recall, we were asked to be on it. They wanted us on. They wanted the triple threat on it. And I remember I was all about it because I thought it would be good exposure. I remember Bam Bam wanting to do it. I remember Candido saying, yeah, it would be good for us. And Shane said, absolutely not. Because Shane hates Vince McMahon. He hates everything the WWF stands for, blah, blah, blah. They treated him poorly. Chris should understand the, whole thing. I was like, please, can we go? It would be good for us as a group. More people would see us. He was so adamant about not going. We didn't get to do it. And I was legit upset. Because when you're at home and you see all of your colleagues doing something that you want to do, but you're held back, not because of what you are doing, but because of somebody else. I just thought maybe a little selfish. I was very upset about it. Very upset about it. And I know the other guys were bummed too, because they, as a whole, it was such a tremendous force in ECW. And I just thought that if we went on a national, because at that time, WWF was the national company. I just thought if we were seen on national television with all those eyes, maybe we would get some more fans on our side and to come over to our program. Not to say that the talent that was used wouldn't draw, but I just thought we were one of the major groups, major heel groups in ECW. We were the heel group in ECW. Right. And not to have your top heels on that program, I think was a big, big mistake. So I think Paul should have forced us to go. I really did.
That's what I was going to ask next. So he did. So it was up to the group if the group wanted to go, and one member didn't, and that was it.
Yep. And we didn't go.
It's Taz, Sabu, Eliminators, Mikey, BWO, Raven, Sandman, Dreamer, the Dudleys, and Little Guido that end up getting on TV and promoting your pay-per-view, your big, huge debut on pay-per-view. Just judging by what everybody did, I mean, maybe they put you guys in the stands. They might not even have you in the ring. They just might show you on the camera off to the side. None of that was discussed, right? If you went, what you would do.
No. And I honestly, they were never going to put us to the side. If we went, we would have been a major part of that evening, for sure. No doubt in my mind. Unless there was a vendetta against Shane and they were just like, well, screw him. We're not going to, we're going to screw with him and whatnot.
Right.
But he didn't even want to reason. There was no reasoning with him. I just remember, nope, not doing it. Nope. I was just like, damn. You know what I mean? It was just like his way or no way. And you can get to do it.
And then there was other instances where they were crossing over later into the summer as well, where we would see Candido go and perform on Raw. He faces Sabu on, Sabu or Scorpio, maybe Scorpio on a Monday Night Raw. And it's incredible. It's like, wow, Candido, who had a very public leaving of WWF and was very vocal about leaving WWF, he's on TV. We wouldn't see Bam Bam back there, but I'm sure, like you said, he would have gone. There's another time. Now, there was never talk of you just going with the crew and just being at the arena.
Nope. It was all of us or none of us. That was it. And the three of us wanted to go. It was good for business, as they say. It would have been good for our brand, the
Right.
triple threat brand. It would have been
Right.
excellent, but I love Shane. I love him so much, but he was so stubborn back then. He just wouldn't bend. So we all got to sit home and watch like fans.
Did you watch?
Yeah, I watched. Of course I did. Of course I did. Why wouldn't I?
And you had that feeling of like,
I was pissed. I was pissed the whole time. I was so mad. I'm like, we should be there right now, you know? And we weren't. So, I mean, what do you do?
you should have been there. Yeah,
We
you
should
guys
have been there.
should have been there
Absolutely.
without a
I'll
doubt.
tell them to this day that was a mistake, but what it doesn't mean anything to bring it up now and argue with them.
That's something
It's
that comes up
over.
in conversation
Yeah.
casually. It'll just call and be like, you know what I was thinking about, jerk.
You jerk. We all say we're different people now. We've made mistakes. We've made the wrong decisions. You grow up, you learn from it, and you move on. And that's what happened. And but if you look back and you think about certain things, it's like, oh, why didn't I do that?
Yeah, that's man. And the other thing too about that night is it was a short crew for the WWF. That's why ECW had as many matches and segments as it did, because they were on a European tour. So you had a short crew of probably more guys that Shane would have had that camaraderie with. Even though I know the ECW guys were not met very well, I believe there was a strong, like,
ridiculous.
Yeah, like wasn't it something they had to change, like in the hallway or something, or they chose to change in the hallway?
Probably.
It was
I
something
don't
weird.
know. I wasn't there, Chad. I don't know.
You weren't. But there was no talk afterwards, like, shit, Francine, you should have been there.
Not really. No.
Incredible. What a time, fans. I wish everybody could have known what it was like to be a fan at that time. That was unfreaking real.
I honestly believe that mid to late 90s was the best time. And not only because I was involved, because even if I wasn't, just looking back at the content that was produced, I think that was the best time to be a wrestling fan. Bar none. Just so good. But